Welcome to ETFinalscore.com, your source for all the highlight stats and stories and scores from around East Texas high school football. With your host, Eric Sullivan.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the ETFinalscore.com football show. It's the final Friday night of the regular season here in East Texas. Playoff spots have been set for some teams, but we got a lot to sort out tonight, and we've got you covered for everything East Texas. The next 30 minutes, we want you to be a part of the show. Best way to do it at Twitter, or on Twitter, at ETFinalscore. If you've got a game, a team, a matchup, tweet it to us at ETFinalscore. Your pictures and stats are also welcome. We'll be checking all throughout the show. We start, of course, with Nacogdoches at John Tyler. Both teams already in. Neither could be district champs, but Ennis is the champ, but trying to get on a hot streak and get that second seed was at stake. Let's get to the highlights from Rose Stadium. Opening drive for the JT Lions. It's Mr. Gio McAllister. What a senior year this young man's have. Dontavian Gross gets it, hauls it in with one hand. John Tyler got the field goal. They're up 3-0. Dragons respond. Hunter McClellan to Alex Gregory. Nice job of spinning out and getting some yards. Then McClellan to Gregory again. He's going to outrun Cujo's defense. Takes it all the way. Nice job, Mr. Gregory. 7-3. Nac with the lead. Things are getting interesting here, but Gio McAllister would have enough. Look how tough and hard this guy is to take down. Big run, and then the little guy that just does everything the right way. Jeremy Wilson, another touchdown. 10-7. John Tyler with the lead, and then that live defense goes to work. Hunter McClellan picked off by DeAndre Williams. Good job, DW. Gets some yak yards as well after the catch. Then McAllister's going to go to Rodney Bendy. This kid is coming along, folks. 6'4", stretches. I would have given him the touchdown, but Pierre Leonard, the big fullback, says, I'll get the glory this time. All JT in the second half. Jeff Schaefer, of course, said it was 27-0 JT in the second half. 44-14 is the final. And speaking of Jeff Schaefer, he has our post-game report with JT victorious on the final Friday night of the regular season over Nacogdoches.
Eric, big win for John Tyler tonight to wrap up the regular season. A lot of momentum for Cujo as they get ready for the playoffs to start next week. I'm joined now by a couple guys who played a big role in the Lions' victory tonight. I'm going to start with the man on my right, Jeremy Wilson. Jeremy, just talk to me a little bit about what it means to get this victory. You're not playing for playoff seeding or anything, but again, going into playoffs, you're going on a high note.
Yes, sir. I remember last year we didn't end so good on the last game, and we didn't have momentum, and we just felt bad about it. But this game gave us more confidence about the playoff game next week, and I feel like we could take care of business next week.
You personally, you go over 1,000 rushing yards for the season. What does that mean to you to break that milestone tonight?
It hasn't been done since Kendall Hunter, who broke records at this school, and it just felt good just being the running back I can be to help my team, and it just feels good to get the win.
All right, Jeremy, congrats on that mark and, of course, on the win as well. Now, the guy on my left, DeAndre Williams, played a role in tonight's win as well. DeAndre, you get that interception in the first half, and it seemed like that was kind of a momentum shifter. Is that accurate to say for your team?
Yes, sir. I mean, our coach told us to go out there and shut them out. That's what we did, and we just came to get the W, man, and get the momentum going to the playoffs.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit about that second half. It's obviously a close game at halftime. How important was it for the defense to come out strong, and you did play strong. You shut them out in that second half.
Well, coach told us to put on our big boy pants. We came out here, and we just showed them what we can do. We were just playing with them at first, and then we just turned up on them, and they just couldn't handle it. Too much pressure on them at one time.
All right, DeAndre, thank you so much for the time. Good luck next week. So, Erica, the Lions do shut out the Dragons in the second half. Big win for JT as they go into the playoffs next week.
Jeff Schaefer, thank you. Congrats to John Tyler. Let's move over now to the Longview Lobos. They've already clinched the title in 15-5A. They know they will play Lufkin next Friday night in Tyler. That's going to be awesome. But tonight had to take care of Hallsville, who came to fight tonight. Bobcats hoping for a playoff spot as well after everything is sorted out. Desmond Chumley hands it off to Tylen Miller. Oh, this guy just stepped in and been outstanding all 11 weeks for the Longview rushing attack. That's good for 40 right there. And then Chumley goes back to him for the 8-yard. You can't take him down. Another touchdown there. That's 7-0 Longview with the lead. They go back to Tylen here, but Coach John King will not stand for that. That's a fumble. Great job, Braylon Smith. He stripped it. Lance Hardman's going to go 80 yards for the return. And Hallsville is hanging around in this one. That would make it a little bit of a ball game. Let's keep going with the highlights here. Chumley back to Tyler. No, little play action. Doesn't have anything. That's how smart Chumley is. Didn't force anything. Able to get some yards after that. Wow. Looked like he was dead in the water. makes it for a first down. Great job right there. And then we're going to go back to guess who, number 5. He makes up for that fumble, touchdown Longview. They win. Now, it wasn't convincing, 42-28. I told you Hallsville would fight, but Longview looking strong right there. All right, last night, Robert E. Lee, look at this. Look what they did at Naaman Forest. They won 75-27. That was step 1 of getting to the playoffs. They rolled over Forest. Now they needed help between Rowlett and Saxe tonight. They needed Rowlett to win. Jack and Scotty, show us what we got. Hello, playoffs. Robert E. Lee is in for the first time since 2010. Rowlett wins over Saxe. Congratulations to Coach Piskey. Hopefully when Trevor Peel from the Tyler Paper joins us, he'll have an update on when and where they play. I've been told it's going to be over in Waco at the new McLean Stadium. Other scores from tonight, watch out for Lufkin Longview next week. Lufkin blows by Jacksonville 51-6. Lindale, how about Coach Metter and the Eagles? They never stop fighting. They go to White House and win. Pine Tree Falls kind of in a shocker here to Greenville 21-11. And Ennis, your district champs from 16-5A, they win over Corsicana 41-14. Now last Friday, the Henderson Lions clinched the district title with a convincing win over rival Chapel Hill. Tonight, Kilgore in town. And could the Kilgore Bulldogs finally get something going and make a move like they did last year? Early on, Zane Boyles, who are probably going to be your district MVP, hits his man Tristan Eber, and then Edgar Sanchez gives them the lead. Points are big in this game. A lot of defense, 3-0. Kilgore's Jacarius Smith trying to get what Kilgore does so well, run the football going, but no points. And then Randy Davis of Henderson. Man, I tell you, yards were tough to come by. Bowles gets the ball back for Henderson. He goes to Jeff Armstrong. Just good tackling, good defense all night long. No points for Henderson on that drive. And then look at this as we stand right now. It's a final, and Kilgore gets it done. That's how wide open that district is. Kilgore left for no one gave him a shot after the poorly as they've been playing. They beat the champs 24-18. Let's get to Class 4A now. Chapel Hill hosting Carthage for the number 2 seed in District 9-4A. Jared Blissett. First play of the game, Jakendrick Jackson. Big bomb. That is a big play. Would lead to a touchdown, 7-0. Back come the Bulldogs of Chapel Hill. Michael Bledsoe, the guy runs with pride. Look at him go up the right sideline. Gets it inside the 30-yard line, but no points for Chapel Hill. And then our guys on defense from Chapel Hill step up. A.J. Mosley with the big slack, and then Blissett going to get a little greedy here. Same play, goes up top. Reggie King says, I'm too good to let that happen twice. Reggie was the man as always tonight. He gets the interception. And then more Chapel Hill defense. Rex Cesario, that guy is a football player. He gets a DeMarcus Ware-like sack. And then here comes Jeffrey Minor in for the hurt Connor Hitchcock. Dumps it off to John Tavian Martin. And look at this guy go. My goodness, up the left side. Almost gets it to the end zone, gets shoved out about the 5-yard line. The Bulldogs are pumped up. And then Reggie King doing what Reggie does out of the Wildcat. He scores. We are tied up at 7. I love Coach Sitton's approval here. Good job, son. Get a little pat on the head. And then look at Mr. Mosley again. Playing the run. That's a tackle for a loss. Chapel Hill gets the ball back. And here comes the home run. Jeffrey Minor up top. Mr. Hands, Zach Walters. Touchdown, Bulldogs, 67 yards on the play. Everybody fired up at Bulldog Stadium, and everybody wanting to hug Zach Walters right there. But in the end, it's Carthage. Big win right there. Chapel Hill is in the playoffs, 28-21. For more on this game, it came down to the wire. Clay Ilo joins us from Bulldog Stadium live on the phone. And Clay, how did Carthage somehow win this game? Because it looked like Chapel Hill had all the momentum after that big play.
Well, they did, and Carthage got a break right at the end of the second quarter. A high snap on a punt gave Carthage the ball at about the 7-yard line. They were able to score right at the end of the half, tied the game, carried that momentum, scored twice in the third quarter, take a 20-team lead. We're close to the score in the sport. Got the ball back with a few minutes to get down the field farther.
All right, guys, having some phone issues there with Clay, but thank him for joining us there. And what a big win for Carthage there. All right, we've got a break coming up right now. Tons of highlights and scores coming up. We got to check in on those Van Vandals, Bullard Panthers, and White Oak. This is a live look at the etfinalscore.com scoreboard. It's really, really talked about around East Texas. 2 minutes away from more highlights. Class 5A still, Mount Pleasant taking on Texas High. The Tigers paying tribute to Mr. Hanna before the game and wanting to stay focused, stay in that second spot. Early on, it's Jacardi Witcher breaking tackles. We've said Jacardi's name forever this season. He gets the ball way down the field. The Mount Pleasant defense, though, would stiff it up right there. They have to settle for a field goal, so Texas High with the lead 3-0. Joseph Griffin is going to take the short pass right here on the sideline for Mount Pleasant. There he gets it, Griffin does, and he that's kind of a Des Bryant play. Give it to him fast and let him do the work right there. All defense and exchange of possessions throughout this ball game. Let's see who won, and Texas High, of course, has a date with John Tyler next Friday in round one of the playoffs, and they get the win 29-7. Marshall Mavericks, man, they needed a win tonight to get to the playoffs, and how about that? That team is on the rise, taking out Sulphur Springs 36-27. More Class 4A now. The Van Vandals were trying to run the table against Kaufman in the district and get to 10-0. Kaufman in town tonight. Van fans ready for that cold weather tonight. It wasn't that bad out there. Early on, Peter Maddox hands off to Alfonso Thomas. Alfonso, shoulder pads all messed up. Doesn't matter. 20-yard gain. Later in the drive, the same two going at it. Maddox goes right to Thomas. That is a 3-yard touchdown. Van 7-0. I tell you, those Vandals can score with the best of them. Second quarter, Maddox keeps it himself right here. He usually just is bombing that football down the field. That's good for 15. And then the passing game gets underway for the Vandals as Maddox is going to step into this one, rifles it to Kendrick Jones, who takes it all the way down to the 1-yard line. Oh, so close. They would go ahead and score in this one. 14-0 your final in that one. As we look at the board, all Van 31-0. Congrats, 10-0 in the regular season. Bullard Panthers hoping for a 2 seed. Had to beat Canton first. Canton loses it. The ball is recovered by the Bullard Panthers. That is great for a safety in this one. Good start to the ball game. Connor Mebane does it all for those Panthers, running right through that Canton Eagle defense. Big yards right there. And then Mebane says, I'm going to throw it this time. I got a little beat up on that one. Look at that perfect ball to Mr. Drake Daly in front of 3 Canton Eagles. Play of the night nominee. He gets the touchdown right there. Then Mebane setting up more big plays. This time he's going to run it again. He's got blockers, and they block for him well. Spins out, gets 5 more extra yards. And then this time, Chris Bradford says, I'm going to do the dirty work here, running right through Canton for the touchdown. And the Bullard Panthers on cruise control in this one, 35-21. Great job this year by Coach Wilson. They are headed to the playoffs with steam. Scores from around in that classification. Gilmer, of course, wins again, 10-0, 63-27. Tatum needed that one over Pleasant Grove. They get it 31-7. Other scores from the classification: Athens 52-28. Pittsburgh 29-20. Pitt needed that one to keep their playoffs hopes alive. Oh, man, Gladewater all over Center 56-22. And Atlanta takes down Spring Hill 40-22. Brownsboro trying to end the season on a good note. They fall to Palestine 41-21. And Russ beaten by Waco Connolly 34-14. White Oak we go now. White Oak Roughnecks trying to get some work done here. Let's get to the highlights in this one. Early on, as we check out the highlights in this one, this is going to be a fumble by White Oak. You don't want to see that happen in this one, as Jefferson able to recover right there. Good job right there. This time, P.J. Lassiter is going to pass it to Lafayette Tyler, and that ball is picked off by Swade Smith. That's a cool name. I mean, you just got to admit it. Swade Smith, great job. Now Cordell Smith getting that passing game going. What a catch by Jake Pullian for the big gain. Wide receivers are very good over at White Oak. And then this time they take it the running back route as Carlos Camacho runs it in for the White Oak Roughneck touchdown. Love those Army jerseys right there. White Oak gets the job done. They're looking strong for the playoffs, 45-0. New Boston score for us. They're already 7A champs, and Man, Dangerfield having a rough year. 47-21. New Boston wins in that rivalry game once again. Other scores. Let's go Winsboro, Prairieland. Winsboro 28-12. Mineola, they're going to the playoffs on a strong note, 47-0. Really big game right here. And Sabine comes out on top over Harmony, 65-20. Malakoff 45-0 over Eustis. Arp Tigers 65-38 over Frankston. Troop falls to West Crooks 28-14. U Springs gets it done over Linden Kildare 47-14, and Alba Golden falls to Lone Oak 42-22. All right, to the ET Final Score headquarters we go over at the Tyler Paper. For more on who's in, who's out, where they playing, let's go to our guy Trevor Peel over at the Tyler Paper. Trevor, you were a busy man tonight. What have you learned so far with playoff matchups?
Yeah, it's been a crazy week 11. A lot of playoff games. Of course, you stated the obvious earlier. We have John Tyler, who are playing in Longview at Lobo Stadium next Friday, 7:30, against Texas High, like you said earlier. That's a close game for the bi-district game. And then there are two, and I just got word for the third for sure game in Lufkin at Abe Martin Stadium. The first one will be Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Kilgore will be taking on Jasper. And then on Friday as well, we have Henderson, who will face Thistleby. And then also, I just got word that Chapel Hill will be taking on Huffman Hargrave on Saturday at 1 p.m. Again, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday game at Abe Martin Stadium. And then hats off to Robert E. Lee. You know, with the help of Rowlett defeating Garland Saxe, they make the playoffs. They will be playing at 7:30 next Friday in the brand new state-of-the-art McLean Stadium that's home of the Baylor Bears. They will be playing an undefeated Waco Midway team. And then the Lufkin Panthers tweeted they will be playing here in Tyler at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium at 7:30 against Longview. That is sure to be a very good game. And then Marshall, like you said earlier, they win against Sulphur Springs tonight. Now they had a little matchup where if they lose or they win by 4 or less, they would face Ennis first, but they ended up winning by 5 or more, which means they will play Nacogdoches at Pine Tree next Friday at 7:30. And then Van ended up being undefeated throughout the year, the first time going 10-0 since 1985. So hopefully that winning streak can continue through the playoffs. They will be playing Paris next Friday. The location is undetermined so far. And then for some TAP schools, we have TK Gorman, who ends Grace's winning streak. They will be playing at Houston Second Baptist at 7 on Friday. That's just a couple of the playoff games. We still have plenty more to come. ET Final Score on Twitter and Facebook. We will be posting them all night long.
A couple. You ran down about 18 games right there. Well done, Trevor, and a great job of getting that NAC one. That is going to be very interesting. And, of course, as you mentioned, everything online. And speaking of that Twitter feed, thank you, Trevor. Great job as always.
No problem.
Speaking of the Twitter page, there it is. Those guys are posting dates and times right now, final scores. You got to love Twitter. It's where it's at, folks. More highlights coming up. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Both Grace and Brookhill hoping to land a round 1 home game in the playoffs. They met tonight for the final regular season game. It was Grace TK over at McAllen Stadium. TK had a little plan for those Grace Cougars tonight. Early on, Michael Goodwin. How good has this young man been leading the Crusaders? Well, he's going to hand off to his buddy Logan Botello right there. Touchdown makes it 7-0. Crew with the lead. Goodwin now up top to Connor Hobbs. That guy does that every single Friday night. He's just untouchable, unstoppable at wide receiver. But here comes Zach Tapman with the blitz on Goodwin, and Chandler Nutt says, all right, my defense stepped up. We're down 7-0, and he takes it, folks, to the house, as we say in the business. All the way in, untouched. That would make it 7-7. Third quarter we go. TK Gorman says this upset is ours. Look at that perfect ball to guess who? Mr. Connor Hobbs, 14-7. Goodwin would have another great run right here, 21-7 after he scores here. And it looked like TK Gorman was going to pull away with this one. What a run by Goodwin right there. But you know, those Grace Cougars are not going to go away, as they had a big touchdown from Wilhelmy to their good buddy Johnny Spitzer to make it 21-14, but in the end, it's going to be TK Gorman 28-14. Over to Brookhill next, trying to finish off the district season at 6-1 and get that home playoff game. All the guys wearing jerseys for their seniors tonight. What a classy move right there. Grant Hanks hands off to Chris McCoon, spins out of the tackle, and KM goes up that left sideline. Forget about it. Touchdown, Brookhill. All Saints just trying to hang around in this game the best they could. Matt Brunson, who knows who to throw the ball to, That guy right there, Luke Lee, one of the other better receivers in all of East Texas. That's a great touchdown for the Trojans. But Grant Hanks is going to go back to that running game and back to Mr. Chris McCoon. And doesn't like it in the middle and really didn't like it there. Does that spin move again. Great job of getting big yards right there up the left side. And then Hanks is going to cap off the drive right here. Throws it laser here to Mr. Parker Galbraith. And how did he haul that in? Way to go, Parker. All Brookhill in this one, 40-13. The Carlisle Indians were in a dogfight in district all year. Tonight, a chance to get the number 2 seed. Oh, Karen's in town tonight, both 3-1 and district play. Carlisle makes most of their drive right here. It's Colin Gray, a little screen pass to Bryce McGowan. Great job, but not a lot of yards there. Angel Garza would settle for this 29-yard field goal. Tough conditions tonight, but he bangs it through 3-0. Zach Duncan of Cairns is going to hand it off to Mr. Nate Betts, and that's a big-time run by Mr. Is that maybe Jerome Bettis? I don't know. It looks like him right there. Nate Betts doing a great job, and he gets it right there. He would also get a nice 25-yard touchdown run after that. But in the end, who would get that coveted second seed? To the board we go. It's going to be Carlisle hanging on 14-19. Good one here. Union Grove, Harleton. The winner tonight, your 9-2-8 district champs. Will Davis for the Harleton Wildcats early on passes to Cody Frigay for the touchdown. Good job by Cody. Catching it, spinning it, taking it to the house. Harleton says, we want that district title, but Tristan Thompson, no question, the leader of Union Grove, goes to Shane Brown right there, gets a couple of good yards. On his feet, bouncing off Harleton players, takes a big hit, gets it down. But check out Thompson right here as he's going to just do some magic, as we call it here. Running around to his right side. He is in so much trouble. He's dead, right? Well, look at this. Presence of mind to dump it off to Shane Brown. Another Play of the Night nominee. Union Grove, as we check the board, district champs, congratulations, 22-6. Final stop, Chester Roy Stadium over in Overton, Modern Town. The winner secures a 3 seed for the playoffs. Tristan Carlo with the keeper right there. Then Mods Carlo's going to go to the air this time as he looks for Cooper Peavy. Is Cooper open? He sure is right there. Great job. 22-8 at that point. Overton's Brayton Pierce to Daniel Gomez, but Mods Tristan Carlo pass to Logan Hemby right there. In the end, could Overton hang on here and get that spot? They do. 30-8 your final. Got some scores to get to. Big Sandy, congratulations, 43-12. Hawkins falls to Ore City, 22-49. Beckville, good win for them, 28-24. Alto, we knew this was happening, 68 points tonight. My goodness, they beat Crossroads, Cayuga, and Grapeland. It's all, okay, Grapeland, look at that, 42-41. Classic game. Lovelady, thanks for the call tonight, guys. They win 34-26. Mount Enterprise falls to Tenaha 55-26, and Timpson 54-6 over Fruitvale. All right, we've got to get a break in, update you on some scores and playoff games, and not one, but maybe 2 plays of the night. We'll be right back. I think we did all right. All right, week 2 play of the night. We've got 2 of them. Early on, though, that's the wrong super. This is the board game. That is Connor Mebane. Touchdown pass to Drake Daly. How did he catch this in between 3 Canton Eagles? Connor, Drake, congratulations. Other play of the night, Tristan Brown of Union Grove. You just saw that. Making miracles happen. I thought he was down and then has the presence of mind to throw it to Shane Brown. Congrats to Union Grove. Here's what we know so far as playoff matchups. Lobo Stadium, it's John Tyler, Texas High on Friday. Going to be a great one right there. Next game we know about for sure. This is a Thursday night game at Abe Martin Stadium in Lufkin. Kilgore taking on Jasper. Henderson will play there Friday night against Silsbee at Abe Martin Stadium. And then we got this tweet from Trevor just moments ago. TK Gorman, Houston 2nd Baptist on the road next Friday at 7 o'clock. And, of course, go ahead and pop up ET Final. We got a couple more here. Lufkin, of course, will take on Longview at Rose Stadium on Friday. We knew that a couple of days ago. So unbelievable matchups all across East Texas. And real quickly, Robert E. Lee will play at McLean Stadium, Waco Midway, coming up this Friday at the new Baylor Waco Stadium there. Going to be great there on Friday. ETFinalscore.com. all you need to know for round one of the playoffs. We'll replay this show at 6:30 tomorrow on CBS 19. Round one. Can't wait till next Friday.